Hey, Warrior Saints. Glad to have you beautiful people with us as we continue our conversation from yesterday. I think that mentality has been peddled by certain powers that be, if you will, that goes against the grain of what the natural, healthy, the natural desire of many women and men, and the value of family. And, it's been thrust out there that being a mother is less than being a girl boss.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I think, is just devastating. I think. I mean,
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I mean, you've got it in your house. I mean, watching your bride, the way she's raising your kids. I mean, I love them. I'm biased, but I can speak most importantly to my own is, I mean, I've watched my bride do amazing things. I watch her, and she works now. She worked when we got married. She took off some time to raise the children, and she works again. She's capable in that arena, more than capable. But her desire to pull back and make those decisions and take those actions to raise those two people into, like I said, I'm biased, but I'm not wrong. Amazing, ridiculously amazing human beings is part of my work, but the bulk of it is her work. And though not every woman wants to choose that, and that is okay, it can't be said that her decision to do that is in any way wrong.
No.
Or lesser.
And I think my problem with all of it, and even why I brought my aunt up in the first place, is neither way is wrong. And this is where the value of a family comes in. Families are figuring out what works for them.
Yeah.
Right? One of the things that I talk about in marriage prep, and hammer home in our marriage prep classes here, are everyone is coming from different families.
Right.
And each of those families has their own system of communication, their own way of doing things, their own way of operating. And all that each party coming into the marriage knows is the system that they came from.
Yeah.
So
Good.
they think that that's the only way to work. Trying to impose either of those systems, whether of communication or functionality or whatever, onto this new marriage is never going to succeed. The new couple has to figure out what their system is going to be, what works for them. And as a family, you got to make a plan together to figure out. And it's not for anyone else to tell you this is the way that you have to do it.
Right.
And push you in and push an agenda that is telling you to do one thing or another.
Yeah. That's a great statement in whatever direction, in any topic you want to go. Who's your reference? Who's giving you instructions? I mean, is it God and his word, or is it anything, or anyone out in society and in culture? And very often we listen to the voice of culture, which usually leads into, just chaos. And again, like I said, I'm raising my daughters to be ferocious, and they both are. At the same time, I will never tolerate anyone to speak ill to them if they choose to marry and be homemakers and raise a family, just as my wife did. I mean, I won't tolerate it, because I have watched, again, I'm bragging about my bride, but she does things I can't do. This is one of those things too, that we asked this question about, what's the big deal about those robots having, synthetic amniotic fluid. I mean, they can't have real amniotic fluid, I guess. So the synthetic and whatever, and we were trying to figure out what's the good or bad. But one of the things I noticed with my wife, as she was carrying those children, there's some kind of weird bond going on there that I can't tap into, nor probably should I, right? Yeah. Now, my daughters and I are close, and we talk, and we fight about ideas, and I give them 100% of my life, and they've done the same back. It's amazing. But there are things that their mother, my wife, she's a teacher. She's a lover. She's a guide. She's a rock. She's a hammer when she needs to be. She's a voice of reason. She's a voice of compassion. She is a cooking instructor if she needs to show them how to make, when they go to college and they got to feed themselves, she teaches, on and on and on goes the list. And she has done things that I can never really do the way that she does them. And I understand that there are things that I have given them that she can't. But there's something, I guess, about that actual, and a lot of mothers I've talked to, as has my wife said to me, there's some kind of like, and I don't know the science, but there's some kind of connection bond that happens in utero. And the fascinating part about it, I'll end with this one. I noticed with my children, but I've also started since then noticed with a bunch of other people. Whenever they're disciplined and, you know, however you discipline, spank them or, you know, send them to the corner, whatever the heck you did, you know, and if mom did the discipline, the kids would run away and then run back to mom's lap.
Yeah.
You know, because they know inherently that somewhere inside them, life is in the mother's womb.
Yeah.
And even if I discipline or she discipline or any, they would run back to their mother's lap. Not even to me. She was safety. She was home. You know what I'm saying? Home base.
Without question. If my kids hurt themselves, they don't want me.
Right.
They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to see me. They want mama.
Yeah.
My son woke up this morning. He was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do anything. And I walked into his room and he just started screaming, no, 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 no. Like there was a lot of no's that were being screamed in my general direction because he didn't want me to wake him up and put him in his clothes and take him to school. His mom comes in. He just reaches up for her.
Yeah.
He gets out of his bed.
Yeah.
She just holds him, cuddles him. Now, I would have fought him all the way to get him dressed.
Yeah.
She had him dressed in 5 minutes because she just
That is a way.
hugged him and he felt safe and he was giggling by the end of it and was good to go. The minute I walked in and took his hand, he said, no, mama. And so his mother had to put him in the car. But like, they don't want.
Yeah.
There's a different kind of bond.
Yep.
And if that is taken away through synthetic means,
Yeah.
what's going to happen?
Yeah. Billy Joel, baby. She's got a way about her.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is.
Yeah.
I mean, but there is something that there's truth to it. And I don't want to go down this rabbit hole at all, but I mean, that's one of the real problems with homosexual couples having, raising children, because, you know, you have two men, you lose one part, and you have two women, you lose the other. I mean, and that's the complementality, whatever the heck the word is. I keep losing it. But the idea of a family being with a father and a mother. And look, it is not to say this. Let me throw this out there before we get creamed, that a single dad or a single mom can't do it all on their own. My father died when I was young. My mother was a single mother from the time I was 7 and my sister was 6. So, like, I get that too. And I have, you know, just great respect for it. But the ideal should always be to have a family, you know, so that each can contribute what they're gifted at to contribute, and be good parents to raise good people, you know. I have definitely, now I guess we, you know, shift into a topic about parenting and so on. But I mean, it's like, there are things that, I mean, I've done my part to the best of my ability, as limited as it may be, but to give my girls everything I can. And it's fascinating that a lot of what I had to give them as the father was discipline. And that doesn't mean abuse. So don't get on my case, people, about that kind of stuff. But like, discipline is order, it's boundaries, it's instruction, it's teaching, it's didactic. If you, I mean, the word discipline is from Latin that means a disciple, a student, you know, like you're learning, right? Somebody's teaching you something, right? The idea is that my duty was, you know, to teach them certain things of life. And, you know, I definitely, like, I think men are supposed to do two things. We're supposed to fight to conquer and to look after our family. Mm-hmm. And, you know, one of the ways that I tried to look after my family was to raise my girls, to teach them so that if I drop dead, they're completely independent of the world. They're able, you know, no one can really function well independently, but you get my point. Like, they don't need me.
Right.
And they did when they were 3 and 5 and 7 and 10 and 9 and so on, whatever. But now to the point where they're both, you know, in college and all that kind of stuff. Technically, they don't need me. They can survive even better than I do. And that's my responsibility. I don't know. Parenting together, do your parts, everything.
Yeah. Well, Proverbs talks about this, right? And the book of Proverbs says very clearly, "Hear, my son, your father's instruction. Reject not your mother's teaching. They are a fair garland for your head and pendants for your neck." Like, it's this idea that you are adorned by the teaching of your parents.
Yeah.
And it gives you something to wear on your head, something to wear around your neck. You're accessorized by the teaching of your parents. But it's not that both go in one place, right? The teachings are different. You learn different things from your parents. Your parents are providing you with different things. And as parents, we have to recognize that. And we also have to be present for that and not leave it to someone else to do. We need to not let someone else be teaching that. We need to make sure that we are taking control of what we're teaching our children. And we need to know within within each couple, what are our roles?
Yeah.
What are we doing? How are we divvying up these responsibilities? What are the things that we're each good at that we're able to provide for our children? Where are the things that we have strength? Like I have some strengths, my wife has some strengths. We are going to share our different strengths with our kids.
Yeah. You're totally, I mean, like, so that's a great thing, within marriage. I mean, now we're transitioning again from parenting to marriage. It should have gone with marriage first to parenting, but what you're alluding to is you got to have conversations to figure that stuff out. I know you know that because you do that in your premarital counseling classes, but like so many people, probably in marriage, one of the greatest, I will say this, the greatest cause for people to end up in my office or your office after marriage needing some guidance or help is poor communication.
Without question.
I mean, it's the bedrock, right?
Right.
And so in some sense, without trying to be too silly, I mean, just to make, I'll overstate the point in order to make it, like have a conversation, write a list. I'm going to teach them this, you teach them that, where it's delineated, according to one's skills, gifts, talents, interests, and give those kids, give them bread, give them a roof. You better put clothes on them, send them to school, but teach them life, give them the gospel. That's the life changer. I mean, we saw it. Sorry to go back. Adam chose one way, Christ chose the other. One was good, one was not. Right? You better teach them that more than anything else because they are now drawn and sucked into that line to pick Adam or Christ.
And you have to teach them by modeling it.
Yeah.
You have to show it to them. Which means that you need to be having those conversations as a couple to figure out what is going to happen and how. You have to be, I guess the way what I'm coming to is you have to be deliberate about what it does, right? I don't like the phrase intentional, but I do like deliberate because intentional seems weird to me. Deliberate seems like you're making a plan and then you're following it. You're mapping it out. You're seeing what is going on, right? And I think all of it that is trying to usurp everything, and that is when we don't have that plan, that's when our plans get usurped and we go down that rabbit hole of Adam. Because we're listening to too many outside influences. We're listening to too many other things. And the reality is that, I mean, we can say we're basically living in a godless society, where there's so much craziness going on and trying to jump at us and usurping anything and everything that it can from us and pulling us away.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things that they're taking away is the bond with a mother.
Yeah. I mean, that's what this seems to be, this robot thing seems to be doing is to take away the bond from a mother. Backing up one step, a lot of the good stuff you said made me think about it too. But sorry, maybe an uncomfortable conversation, but one of the things these surrogate robots can do is not create, but whatever. What's the word? Impregnate without sex. I mean, now it's been possible, I guess, anyways before, but now it can be, the child can be produced and brought to term without, human interference, if you will. And, within the confines of marriage, I mean, sex has been so like bastardized in our world. It's like, it's funny. It's not only now no longer taboo to talk about and to show it and gratuitous sex scenes in all the TV shows and movies and Netflix and blah, blah. But it's not only not taboo, it's expected. It's taboo if you don't.
Yeah.
right? And you throw the sex all over the place, and it's like it sells, sex sells. They say all that kind of stuff, and you know, it's been so bastardized. I think it's lost in the mainstream a lot of its inherent beauty, right?
Mhm.
I mean, in the porn industry, oh my God, I'm going to tell you, like porn, forget COVID. COVID's nothing. Porn, like someday we're going to have to study and deal with that because like, I mean, it's everywhere. I hear it in every confession and every conversation. It's a struggle for people. Because sex has been, I'm losing my word, but it's been altered. It's bastardized is the word I use. Excuse the crass language, but manipulated, twisted, broken, bent, whatever. I'm losing the word. But in marriage, and this is one of the things why like you would hate to, I've got this theory. All right, I'm rambling. Let me say this. For Christians, we're supposed to remain chaste until we get married. And, the whole thing, I quoted Billy Joel earlier. Same thing with, what's that song? Come Out, Virginia. Only the Good Die Young. I mean, he's trying to get a girl to go to bed with him before they're married, right? So like, my theory is this, so Christians are supposed to remain chaste before they get married and so on. And it's bad if you don't. Okay, fine. The Bible says, okay, fine. But here's what I've come to realize, that when you are intimate and having sex with your partner, you are completely naked with another person. And I don't necessarily just mean that in the sense of clothing, but I mean like all of your person, right? And I think that nakedness, that vulnerability, to use cheesy Brene Brown words and all the rest of that kind of stuff, the beauty of that is that you don't throw that around. It's sacred, man. You don't just like make it cheap and throw it all over the place, to this, that, and the other. And how awesome if that, I'm losing the words, I'm sorry, but that coming together of those two naked people, right, in that beautiful sense of nakedness, not meaning clothing, and to produce life, like that's ridiculously awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of my theory on it right now, where I'm at least in my studies.
Yeah. The reality is sex brings you together in a way that nothing else can.
Yes.
Right? That's why there's such a thing as makeup sex.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a reunion. It's a
yes,
bringing you back. And
absolutely,
all of it is, as much as there is sex everywhere and anywhere, as you put it out, it's usurping the actual beauty of it and what it's actually intended for and why it's actually there.
right.
And coming together to create a life is ridiculously amazing.
I mean, that's the point. I mean, yes, sex is, for the good of the couple and the bonding and, the makeup sex, like you said, and the reunification, all that's there. My point that I was trying to make is this. It's that in that sharing the fullness of oneself with the other person, and that act produces a life, that's amazing. Don't take that by putting it into a robot. Right. And look, not every time a couple has sex, they have a kid, and not every couple's able to have sex and able to have children, and on the list. And those, I don't need these trolls out there to pound me for that statement, but the statement retains its veracity.
Right.
The fruit of those moments, as infrequently as it comes, right? Like, so we have 2 children, you have 2, and like, so it's not like every time. That is usurped by this synthetic approach that they're doing. And so, I mean, I only even bring that up to say that, like, within the confines of Christian marriage, it's awesome. Anyways. So, hey, Warrior Saints, thank you so much for being with us. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps us get the word out there. And if you want more, visit us at warriorsaints.org and subscribe to Understanding the Bible. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.